Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you can tell, I'm a bit energetic right now because I haven't had the time to film in the past 2 weeks or so, and I'm finally doing it right now. So I'm feeling very productive and accomplished for today. Anyways, if you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Gian. I make bookish content and lifestyle content on the side. So if you're interested in watching those, then please hit that like and subscribe button because we always have a fun time here. So for today, I'm gonna be doing the 2020 mid-year book freakout tag. Wow, that's a tongue twister. So without further ado, let's proceed with the video. I've checked my Goodreads account earlier and I saw that I read 15 books so far, and my goal this 2020 is to read at least 30 books. So I'm pretty much on track, but I really have to pick up the pace if I ever wish to go over that because my goal has changed and I want to read more than 30 books, especially now that I have a lot of free time on my hands due to the pandemic. But don't worry guys, I'm not forcing myself to read. It's just that when I do have free time, I usually spend it on watching Netflix or browsing my social media. So I really have to allocate my time wisely, like what my advice is. So I have to apply it to myself. But anyways, let's proceed with the questions. The first question is, what is the biggest book you've read so far in 2020? And for this one, I have The Beauty of Darkness by Mary E. Pearson. This is the third and last book to her Remnant Chronicles series, and this has a total of 683 pages. So this book is thick, and all I can say is this is the perfect conclusion to the series. This was well done. I just hope that the war scene was a bit longer, more action and all that, but other than that, it was perfect. I love the growth of the characters, especially Princess Leia, which is the lead female character. She really grew into her role as a good leader. She learned to love her history and accept her destiny, and she stopped being self-centered by the second book. She started thinking about her people, about her kingdom, and she didn't rule with her heart when making decisions, which I really liked. And this is not a romance-centered book, I think. Next up, what is the best sequel you've read so far in 2020? And for this one, I chose Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second and last book to the Six of Crows duology. And if you haven't read this series yet, please do. Your mind will be blown. It's so amazing. And I even got attached to all of the characters, which is very rare. And I even cried a bit, and if you've read this series, you probably know why. And I'm planning on reading King of Scars next, so I don't know if the characters in the series will make an appearance there. I hope they will. And if by some chance Leigh Bardugo is watching this video, if by some miracle, please continue the story of the six misfits because I want more. I want more of their story, and I want to know what happened to Inej and Kaz because they need to have a happy ending. They've gone through so much in this series, and I just want them to be together in the end, you know. Like a concrete ending. Anyways, moving on to the third question, which is new release you haven't read yet but want to. For this one, I chose The Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. This has been on my TBR since April. Like, oh my god, I just have to finish this book already. I've started it na. I'm on page 12. I'm on page 12 out of 800 plus pages. It's very thick, you guys, so I really got intimidated to start this one, but I'm reading it now. Hopefully I'll like it and I'll not get bored because this is very thick, like I said. So moving on to the next question, we have your most anticipated release for the second half of the year. So for this one, I chose The Inheritance Game by Jennifer Lynn Barn. This will be released on September 29, 2020. So in just a few months, I'll be able to read this beauty. So the cover is amazing. The plot is amazing. So you could also check out my In Other Book News episode 2 video where I share with you guys all my most anticipated reads for this year and the first half of next year. So do check that out. So moving on to the next question, we have the biggest disappointment or biggest book disappointment. I chose Wicked Scene by Emily A. Duncan. So let me just give you a background. When I first saw the cover of this book, it immediately got my attention. It was so beautiful. It was gorgeous. I just wanted to buy it right away. And then I read the synopsis and I was like, yep, add to cart. Like right away, because the premise is about a girl who could talk to the gods. So very interesting plot. But then I read it and it took me 3 months to read or to finish that book, which is a very long time. I never got attached to the characters or to the story itself. I didn't really like it. And if you know me, you could check out my 25 bookish facts about me. So I don't really like to read 2 books at the same time. So I really have to finish this book first before I ever got to read the next book. So I was in a reading slump and it just took me a long time to finish this book, and I'm not continuing on with this series. But I don't want to let go of this book because it's so beautiful and it's pretty expensive because I bought it like for 1,000 plus pesos, so very expensive. So moving on, biggest surprise for me would be the Queen of Nothing series by Holly Black. I didn't like The Cruel Prince and The Wicked Saint because I wasn't really into it at first, but then I read the conclusion. It was so good. Like all the things that were missing in the first and second book just, was completed on the third book. It was not rushed at all, and it has a beautiful ending, which I loved. So yeah. Next up, we have my new favorite author. I chose Mary E. Pearson. I've always had the Remnant Chronicles series of hers recommended to me, and I pretty much went into it knowing that I will love it because it has been recommended by so many people, and a lot of booktubers have really good reviews of the series. I just didn't know that I was going to be loving it so much, and I'm really excited to get to her other series, which is The Dance of Thieves, which is set on the same place as her Remnant Chronicles series. So I'm very excited to jump into that world again. Moving on, my newest fictional crush, which is King Jackson Tyrus Rafferty of Dalbreck, or Rafe for short. So he's a character in the Remnant Chronicles series by Mary E. Pearson. I've been talking about this series so much in this video, but that just shows how much I love this series. And at first, I didn't really like Rafe. I thought that he was a righteous jerk because, he's just full of himself. And then by the end of the first book, he fell in love hard for Princess Leia, which is our lead female character. And I was like, na-in love ka kaagad, agad-agad. But as the series progressed, you can really see his sincerity towards Princess Leia, that he traveled all the way just to save her, even if the odds were stacked against him. And I just really loved how innocent and pure his love was for her. Also, he didn't undermine her as, a leader or as a queen of this nation, because, well, at first he did, but then, you know, he gave in and let Princess Leia do her thing. Moving on, my newest favorite character. I chose Cass Brecker from Lee Bardugo's Six of Crows. I just love him so much, you guys. I love how smart he is, how sassy he is. My heart beats for Cass Brecker. And I listened to this book through audiobook, and the voice actor that played Cass Brecker did an amazing job. I could just imagine him like talking to me. And if you're planning to, you know, read this series, I suggest you listen to the audiobook instead, because they did an amazing job. And for each characters, I believe they have a different voice actors, which really brought the story to life. So yeah. Up next, a book that made me cry, and for this, I chose What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. And this is not your typical contemporary book, which I really liked. So if you're not familiar with this story, we follow Alice, who had a concussion and she forgot the last 10 years of her life. When she woke up, she was surprised to find out that she already has 3 children and is heading for a divorce. It was just heartbreaking to see Alice trying to piece her memory back together. She doesn't even remember giving birth to her 3 children or any memories associated with them. Also, the husband that she loves and adores so much can't even stand to be in the same room as her. So we follow her as she tries to figure out what led to the divorce and what happened with the relationship with her sister, because they have become estranged, and it's just sad. So by the end, I was just crying, especially the scene when she first met her husband after the accident. I just can't. Up next, a book that made me happy, and for this one, I'll be choosing Victoria by Daisy Goodwin. I'm not exactly sure if this is an actual biography or if the author took creative license to make do with her story, but if you don't know, this is about Queen Victoria and her life, her legacy, and her accomplishment. As you know, I'm very interested in history, so this was right up my alley, and I learned a lot of things that I didn't know previously, because I did watch a few documentaries about her, because I'm very interested in historical figures. So yeah, this was just, you know, a fun and chill read for me, and I enjoyed it very much. Moving on, what is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year? And for this one, I'll be choosing Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. I mean, look at this gorgeous cover. It's just beautiful, and the story is good too, so I definitely recommend this one. Now we're on to the last question, which is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I'll be mentioning my top one, which is The Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I need to read that before the release of the next movies, because I do want to compare which version I like most. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and see you in the next video. Bye!